Hello, welcome to my podcast, Not Again Yamilli, a podcast where we have open and mentor-like conversations with my friends, guests, and mentors who are not only killing it in their respective careers, but are also leading people authentically, which means recognizing the countless learning moments, the doubts that creep in, and the values that drive decision making. Now, I'm your host, Yamilli Prasad, an MBA graduate with admits from INSEAD, RICE, and ISB. Now, I've had the previous experience of working in venture capital and tech. I'm a global nonprofit founder and a former fashion model. Now, you see, I've had my fair share of figuring things out for myself. In this episode, I welcome my guest, Enrico Prodi. Enrico has been the director of operations of Eataly, one of the largest Italian food chains in the US and worldwide. Now, while he excels in his role, but his career has started one from Italy to London to the US. Now, in our conversations, we talk about his simple and his love for simple food and cooking. Of course, all that's Italian and the immaculate hospitality and the legacy of building great culture. Now, join in our conversation and please welcome my guest for today, Enrico Prodi.
Oh.
Hi. What is it? Buono.
No, buongiorno.
No. Buonasera.
Buonasera.
For good evening.
Buonasera, good evening.
Good evening. Okay, so we say ciao, buonasera.
Buonasera.
Okay, let's start. So I know we're in recording.
It's 5 p.m. in New York.
So you moved from Italy to New York, and where are you from in Italy?
But my trip was a little bit more complicated because I studied. I was born in Trieste, Italy.
Okay.
Trieste is it's a city northeast of Italy.
Right.
City in the border with Slovenia.
Okay.
It's the best city in the We have the Adriatic Sea, we have the Alps, so we have mountains, we have everything in the city.
Okay.
City full of history, and I'm really proud to come from there. And so I was born in Trieste, graduated in Trieste. I then moved to Turin after some jobs around the other side.
Turin, the other side of Italy?
I moved to Turin to work for this company, Italy, in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to Turin, so on the other side of Italy, northwest.
Right. What's the best city in Italy still?
Best is clearly Trieste, I would say. I really love Turin for sure.
Okay.
Love for Rome. I also was living in Rome for almost a year.
Okay.
I think that my Sunday's walk in Rome was probably one of the best memories that I ever had, and one of the best, probably the best Sundays were my walks around Rome,
Okay.
friends and family. Yeah.
Where around Rome?
I remember I was living in the Colle Aventino, and I remember we had about Centari, Trevi, Coliseum, Piazza Vittorio Veneto. So a lot of good memories from Rome. And after Rome, I moved. It was end of 2018 in Los Angeles. So I moved from a city full of history where you can walk around to LA, where it's a city that you must have a car. I have to say Italian. I have to say tiramisu. I'm forced to say that. No, I'm not forced. I love Italian desserts. I love French desserts as well. I think, but for sure tiramisu. I'm gonna go classic tiramisu. It's probably my favorite. Yeah, it's Italian.
Coffee based.
It's coffee. Yeah, it's the finger. Yeah, it's a classic recipe. But I think that sometimes. Our founder, Oscar Farinetti, said one day that it's difficult to be simple.
It is.
And so I think that even my favorite food, my favorite plate is a simple tomato pasta,
Okay.
pasta al pomodoro with mozzarella, which is very simple, but I love that. And I think, once again, that it's difficult to be simple, and even doing these simple dishes sometimes require a lot of love. So I can recognize when a tiramisu is made with love or not. But I think it depends a lot from the ingredients. So for sure, the ingredients makes a difference, which is also the mantra of our company. No, it's the quality of the materials, the quality of the ingredients, And of course, then it's a lot about the training of the staff. And in case of a pasta, You have to taste, you have to know when the pasta is good, is cooked, is al dente. We like al dente. Sometimes people that are not from Italy are having a hard time to understand the al dente pasta.
It's textured, I believe. It needs to be a little uncooked so they can have
Yeah, for some of them, they say it's uncooked. But I love a pasta al dente, and of course, a good mozzarella and a good tomato. But the ingredients makes a difference in the end.
You get the same ingredients here in New York.
And the salt in the pasta.
And the what?
And the salt that you put in the pasta.
Salt that you
Yeah, the salt, yeah. It makes a difference.
like it's salty then.
We like salty, yeah. Like favorite, yeah. I like salty. I have a problem with the salt sometimes, but
You're the problem.
yeah, it's not a problem, but I like salty things, bro. Yeah, I like salt. Maybe sometimes even too much. Maybe what I like is salty, probably for you is too much.
No, I like it. I like my prosciutto, so I think I like it salty a little bit.
So we like it too. So we like it. So we can have a
Right.
pasta.
What is the one thing from the Italian culture that you brought with you to America, and how do you inculcate that within your everyday life as in your careers?
I think that Italian is a lot. We're passionate, no, in what we do. Sometimes probably the mistake that we do is that we sound even arrogant, no? But the reality is that we're passionate in what we do. And so what I brought from Italy, or what I always try to do for myself and for my team, is to share the passion that we have for our life, for our work, which in this case is hospitality, is restaurants, is retail, is serving customers. You know? So it's to share our passion for our own country. And also to share not just the passion for our own country, but also the attention to the details that we have to have for our customers.
How do you differentiate between passion and arrogance? Like, because you mentioned everybody was taken by arrogance, especially.
I think when you pretend that I think we always have to learn, no? And so when you think that you are on a certain level and you stop to learn, it's probably when you start to be a little bit arrogant, no? And so you don't understand what's around you.
Yeah.
And you don't listen, you don't feel what's going around you. And I think that that's where you become a little bit arrogant, because you don't understand for real what's going on outside, because you are focused on yourself. Thing is that what you do is the only and right thing to do.
Okay. You also spoke about hospitality, passion for hospitality from the film. What's so challenging about bringing that passion to customers, and even today, it's a challenge to serve in the way that that you want to be able to serve them, but it's still very challenging.
See, I think that especially like today, but also after pandemic, people are very careful also in the way they spend their money.
Yeah.
So even more it's a lot about the quality, of course, of the food. It's a lot about the quality of the people and the training. So it's I always think that again, human resources are investment, no? And we need to invest on our people to do the right training about the product and about customer service.
Okay.
It's a lot about also the environment. I always feel that design adds a lot, no, into helping the relation between the message that you want to send to the customers and your customers.
Can you give me like an example? Sure.
I think about today, no? If you walk around and you have the right music, the right furniture, the right cleaning. I'm very obsessed with the cleaning room. But if you have that, and you create a good vibe, and you have the staff with the right uniform, with the right training, with the right service, you feel welcome, you feel more welcome, so you're more willing to, of course, spend your money, spending more time, so spending your money and also talking about the space to your friends. And so having more chance to have people back.
It is. It just reminds me when you're talking about design and how you train your staff and how you have them. There is a restaurant in Houston, and it's called Jaisalmer. And I think I told you that.
Yeah, you told me, yeah.
It's a very homely, low-key place. A lot of old people come there because it's just quality food.
Mhm.
It's not a very Instagrammable friendly. It's not perfect lights. It looks very homely, but the food is amazing. And the waiters who serve you, they're old, or if not, they're a lot older than I am. And definitely very Italian about it. When they come, they serve you. And that makes the whole experience more welcoming just to be there.
But I think that's, and again, there are
No, but like I said, that's a
different
different
examples.
audience.
No? Yeah, this is a different audience, but at the same time, would you come back?
To that place?
Yeah.
I'm an old soul, so
Yeah.
of course I will go back there.
Of So at the end of the day, and then it depends also on the kind of brand that you are, but
yeah.
how important it is in that case to be a place that didn't lose the DNA because
Yes.
of Instagram. No, I think that, of course, these social media are great channels,
Yes.
but sometimes we cannot sell our soul in
Yeah.
that. And I think that that's an important message when we talk about customers. And when I think about, again, design environment, I think about the DNA of a brand. And so that's what you mentioned is a clear example.
It is. But also, like you mentioned, it's the place where you're putting up the place and the store and you're designing this whole experience for the place and you are in the heart of Manhattan right here. So it makes sense to have.
But like, for example, here, I mean, you can see that with the building is an incredible building. This was for almost 100 years a toy store.
Yeah.
Before it was a luxury hotel, Fifth Avenue Hotel. So there is a DNA of this location, and then together matching with the DNA of the company.
Right.
And again, it's the obsession for us, for me, is to try to drive and to share with the staff, with all the organization, no? Create functions instead of division inside the store to make sure that a customer enter and they feel home, they feel the Italian culture. So our mission is also making sure that we give a piece of Italy in Fifth Avenue, Manhattan. And so again, it's a combination of things, but I think we never have to stop learning. So we never have to stop looking at what the other places around are doing and what the city is telling us to do.
Right.
The fact that online was growing during pandemic. So even the online business, the packaging for the online is something that we have to consider. So we have to be, I think, fast thinker and executor, especially today. The world is very fast.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's of course the physical space, but there are some areas, like I mentioned, the online, which is another area where you need to be close to your customers, of course, in a different way of a physical structure, but it's the customer service, the way we answer if they have any question, the way we present the food, the way we have the collateral that we're using. So there are a lot of aspects, and everything at the end is on customer satisfaction.
Right.
Which again, we can make a mistake with customers, but I think the most important thing with customers is also to hear from them feedbacks, bad or good, and even the bad can turn into positive things in the future.
What was a customer service that you found extremely helpful? And how did that feedback come to you? And how did you translate that? And that actually turned into an impactful change?
There was a customer who explained me much better the customer part. So they were telling me a lot about, let's say, the moving slide, the signage for navigability in the store. So I had a very deep conversation about signage, and that was useful for us because it helped us. For us, we have a rooftop, no? And so there was a conversation with a customer who had to tell us that it was not enough, the indications to get to the rooftop. So that helped us. There was a customer that was correct, very focused on the bathrooms. And he was right, bathrooms in another business card of the store. So I really took the conversation very, very deeply, and we made some adjustments even over there. Then, of course, they will listen a lot to the customers, especially when we talk about the food and the experience in the dining room. We read every day reviews on Google, reviews on Open Table, reviews on TripAdvisors as well. Yelp, and we read that, and there are a lot of course, there are people that probably start conversation to complain, but there are also a lot of useful things. So I don't know. We understood, for example, that a particular part of the day of the week, we had some adjustments to do on the schedule because probably we had less servers than needed. So we made some adjustments, same for the kitchen. So I think feedbacks are very important. And again, it happens. It happens every day in our customer service, in our guest relation. We receive sometimes very interesting email about suggestion as well, and we take that very seriously.
How do you like this feedback to come? Like, in what way? Like you said, you had a deep conversation.
I always like constructive feedbacks.
Yeah.
I always like constructive feedback, and I tend to call customers. So when I receive an email, I always ask for the phone. So I always talk, and I always like to talk on the phone or in person, even more in front of a coffee, as an Italian will do, no?
Yeah.
So I take this feedback, especially in person, very seriously, especially the constructive one. And I can understand if someone just wants to have a found, or if somebody is really fair in the judgment and are able to give a constructive feedback.
One of these days, I think I will introduce you to South Indian filter coffee. So I'm from the southern part of India. And so the way you make espresso is very similar to the way we make our coffee.
Okay.
It's got a steel tin, also sits there for about 20-30 minutes of just hot boiling water, and then you have a very concentrated flavor of the coffee.
Next time we do a podcast with that as well.
Yes, I would love to. Where we mix, we love milk mostly.
Okay.
So we mix milk, and then it's cultural too. So you know a little bit of South Indian culture, a little bit
Okay.
into
We'd love to.
that. In so many years in the industry that you've been working, what was a pivotal learning moment for you that significantly influenced your working style and how you approach customer service and hospitality today? Something like, where
I think that for me, even it was a tragedy worldwide, the pandemic helped to understand even more, for me personally, how important it is to build relation with the staff
Yeah.
and all the vertical structure. No, I think that it's very important that you build a team, and that gave me even more the importance of building a team on all the vertical structure. So making sure that you have managers that listen to all the employees. No. So creating a chain of good communication and good relations and respect.
What is an element? So when you think about communication and group team, what does it translate into?
There was our former CEO, which now is Andrea Guerra, now is a CEO of Prada.
Okay.
He told us one day that there is, in English, 3 words that basically are the same, but in reality are different, no? Which is hear, listen, and feel. No? So I always like to be surrounded by people that feel the emotion and feel. When you have a conversation with an employee, you can just hear it, you can listen it, or you can really feel, no? And I think that it's very important that you're surrounded by a team that, of course, are extremely dedicated, that, of course, have the know-how to do their job. But it's very important that they have a culture of feeling their team And so understanding even more, creating a culture, no? So I think that creating the team and building a team based on this DNA is the base of success.
How do you feel? Like,
It's something that you have. I think, I'm not sure it's something that you study. You don't study that.
you must have done
I think it's something that you have it or you don't, or you build it in the future, or you build it through the years.
What do you had? Like, for someone like me, I've spent it through the years.
I think that once you start managing,
Yeah.
then you start developing your style. No?
Yeah.
And the more you have to, the more challenges you have, and the more things you have to handle on a daily basis, the more then you learn how to understand people's feelings and situation. It's not something that you study. I've never, even if you study
Yeah.
management behaviors and you have an MBA, whatever, nobody teach, but you learn and you observe. I think that observing good leaders, but also bad leaders. I learn a lot from bad leaders, like a lot.
Well,
I cannot give you example, but I learn a lot from it. Because then you learn how and what not to do.
which you learn what not to do. Like, what is definitely you don't do and you learn not to do. All these things.
If you're a manager that schedule meetings with your team
Yeah.
and you don't show up and you cancel it,
Okay.
that's something that you should not do. That's a stupid example, a small example of respect, no? When you don't have your goals clear, you're not then able to share your goals to the team.
Okay.
So it's always important that you, first of all, have clear idea of the direction you want to go,
Okay.
and then you can share your direction to the team. But you have to be the one with the clear direction. What else? I mean, there are several things, and again, I think the catch-up follow-up is very important. Never leave things for granted. I think you always have to touch base with everyone. And again, listen and feeling a lot, what your managers are telling you. Give feedback is important. Positive, and if negative, have to be constructive feedbacks.
Okay.
I think it's very important to give constructive feedback.
Is your team Italian?
Not all of them, no.
No.
I have a very, very strong team. American, I have North American, South American. No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. In London, I had management from in
So, is it team meetings at your Italian time? Your American
everything is American time. Yeah. Sometimes we handle with Italian time if we have meetings with the Ep4,
Yeah.
but we now manage with the American time.
No, manage. You were adjusted to that.
We adjust.
That's really adaptable. What's your coming back to how where you come from and the heritage that you come from? What are your roots and values that you continue to implement every day in your life, on your daily life, and that also flows into your everyday work? Something that you already.
I have a very strong relation with my family. So I always respect everyone,
Yeah.
family's time.
Right.
And that's something that I have a brother, a sister, a very good relation with them. Luckily with WhatsApp, we were able to video chat very, very often. So because of that, I have a lot of respect, of course, for family time,
Yeah.
for the time of the team.
Yeah.
It's very important because I always pretend a lot of focus during work.
Yeah.
And that's why I pretend a lot of
Thanks.
focus of time off.
Okay.
Is a pretend the right word? Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm translating wrong.
Thanks.
It's not pretend. I'm expecting. I'm expecting a lot of Now I'm expecting a lot of focus during work,
Yeah.
but I'm also expecting to turn off
When you're off, you're off.
when
Deeply.
when my team is off. More
Yeah.
than me, I probably something that I need to improve. Probably is more my time management.
Yeah.
But it's mainly for my team. I always ask a lot doing work, but I'm also asking to turn off to them to turn off
Right.
and they're off because I respect a lot the work balance,
Right.
work-life balance.
Work-life balance.
Yeah, I respect that a lot. More to my team than myself.
That's actually pretty respectful because it says a lot into how the person
I would
is.
never say to my team, "Don't text me because I'm away,"
Oh, okay.
but I would tell them, and I try to never text them or call them if they're off. So
Try not to.
try not to with them, but I would never tell them to not do it with me.
So if they,
I'm trying to be always available. They can.
but that's conflicting to how you said family time is
Yeah,
important.
exactly. But it's something that is more for the team.
Yeah.
And that's why I need to improve my time management. But no, jokes aside, the more you find a team that you believe and you trust, I always, and we're there, I always focus myself to build a strong team and then building my time management.
What's the secrets or elements to building a strong team?
There's not like an ideal formula, no? Sometimes you try to find exactly people that, of course, they're knowledgeable in what they're doing,
Yeah.
like technicians, like they know what they're doing in their respective functions and role. But then you always, there is a rule, I call it the airplane rule. Like I always ask myself, would you take a plane with this person for a trip, a long trip with a plane? Would you take it? So I always ask myself, would I take a plane? I think it's enough going to even a plane to Boston, even with a 1 hour. No, but even that is enough to understand. You don't need to go to Japan. I think it's enough. You go from New York to Boston is enough to understand if you would. You can have a good relationship. So I always ask myself, would I take a plane?
Yeah.
Do I see similarity? Do I see the same culture? Is it somebody that can share the same culture? Yes or not? And then you can make mistakes. We made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
So it can happen. But important is to try to adjust it, or sometimes you make it, sometimes you break it.
Well, it's a perfect segue to my next question, which is, you talked about mistakes. So what lessons we have mentors within the course of our career and our life, multiple mentors or people who've been very influential to us. So what has been some of those lessons that you carry forward with you? Or that have been very influential to you in your life?
I think that again, being I saw a lot. I've been managed to a lot of great managers, including today. And I think again that the respect, of course, of the brand and the respect of your team. These are the first things. I learned also that it's always good to share feedbacks as well. So for myself, to my superior, not to my bosses, it's very important that you're transparent and that you share the good and the bad as well. So it's always good to be transparent as well with everyone in the company. And if you don't feel that your boss is again listening and feeling it, probably you're not in the right spot. So I'm in the right spot right now. Yeah, I'm in the right spot too.
Right. Thinking back to what you're saying right now, so my first manager, who happened to be my manager for the large amount of my career time back in India, in the very beginning, he said something in my one-on-one. This was something he said, we're very good at making and building connections and then network. That's a strong point. And then he gave me constructive feedback on the things that I have to work on. I have to do a lot more. But today when I look, and he invested in me throughout the years, even though I couldn't see what he was trying to say. But throughout the years, he kept putting me in places, situations where it was mostly I had to deal with people and not with Excel because I was stuck in it, but I would get the job done by a lot of other people. So I would just get the job done. So he always said, you will get it done if not. So he recognized in the team and the work that I had to do was essentially the job I had to get done, and I asked a lot of questions.
Okay.
But it also involved a lot of Excel. But he said, even though you don't know, you would get it done, which is most very important.
Right, that's a good lesson. I also, I mean, I remember back when I was younger, some micromanagement or sometimes a rule that the office don't leave the room until the boss leave. I think that's very bad, but I experienced that. I experienced also some kind of micromanagement when I have bosses that wanted to read my emails before they send it. So yeah, you can learn also from that. And I think that if you micromanage, meaning that you don't trust, so meaning that's not the case. So that makes sense. Doesn't make sense to compete. So again, that's part of learning also from, you learn from the good and you learn from the bad as well.
Strategy, do you micromanage as manager now?
I mean, sometimes you have to get to know someone. So it's important to question, of course. Last question is understanding the situation, especially where at the end you put the face and you put the signature. But if the micromanagement is something that you keep going for a longer time, it means that there's no trust. So no, at the moment I don't micromanage. I manage. I don't micro because I think I have people that I trust completely.
So on an everyday basis, you're interacting with people and you're constantly on ground and evaluating how you can improve this hospitality and exceptional customer service. Going forward, are you changing? Or we spoke about, and remember, just the future later for personal restaurants or restaurant levels going to be having it served in the place at the point of sale. So it's not we're served at this point, it's about having it sit there for long periods of time and providing them a customer service.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, I mean, we talk about artificial intelligence and we talk about it. For sure, this will help this will help the world for sure. And will also help hospitality. I mean, there will be for sure things that this will improve even customer service. But at the same time, I think that especially now, when you decide to spend money into a coffee or into a sandwich, I think that the interaction with human being is important, and I don't think it will stop. I think this can even improve. And once again, I go back to the thing that the physical space you're in is crucial. From the chair to the smell to the music. And so what we want to improve and we don't want to stop is to give a customer experience. And with customer experience means even more investing in the physical space and investing into design, into the colors, into training of our people. It's not going to stop, even with the artificial intelligence. It's not going to stop. We probably can use it to train them even better and more.
If you were to start your own restaurants as a dream project of yours, how would you design the whole space for it?
It's hard because it depends on what you want to sell. So
So you're going to be selling
Italian, no? Tomato pasta and tiramisù. There are a lot of Italian restaurants who go with a difficult competition. No, but jokes aside, it depends on what you serve.
Just purely on your personal dream project. And if you were to do that, what would it be?
I don't know. I'm so focused right now here, and I cannot think. I mean, entrepreneur is something very serious, meaning that, and probably because I've been raised to a normal family in Italy, so I respect a lot money, as they respected money to grow their children, 3 children. So I respected money. So yes, I dream, but I also needs to be realistic. So I think that if this will never come to be entrepreneur, and as of today, I'm very focused on what I do to think about that. But if it will come, I need to think very, very deeper.
Okay.
So I don't have an answer today. I
Can you be
don't have an answer today. I have a lot of restaurants which I love design. I love our design into the new space, the new coffee that we opened a month ago. I love that kind of design. Very, I think high level, but also you feel home, you feel safe, you feel accommodated. But yeah, I don't have an answer now.
okay?
Uh,
The next time maybe you can be
yeah, also that you never know. I mean, today again, I'm very excited about where I am and what I'm doing. You never know in the future.
Well,
You can
when you think about it,
I mean, you can start in any age,
yeah.
different passion, new passion. So who knows in the future what will happen? The best is yet to come. No.
It's a clown. But do keep in mind that that's
Keep in mind, yeah, of course.
I can come across the thought. Well, coming to my last question.
Yeah.
If you were to have a billboard with no financial strains, you have all the resources that you want. So if you were to have a billboard anywhere in the world, wherever it be, and what would it say?
About myself.
It could be anything. It could be, yeah. What would you want that billboard to say? And where would you want that to be?
But I mean, if the goal is finding the busiest area or a place that I'm in love, of course that I'm in love for my Piazza Unità d'Italia in Trieste.
So, okay, yeah.
And if you ask me, you want to sponsor something, we can go to Times Square. But if you are asking me,
Passion.
I'm in love with our square, Piazza, no, in Trieste.
Okay.
So it will probably be there.
What will it say?
I need to think about what to say because I have a lot of respect for that area. So I need to think very. I read, I think it's in the social media years ago. It was be kind with people. So I will write be kind with people. I think it always I always paid out, no? Be kind with people. It always, I think that's the man, that's the thing. I will write be kind with people in Piazza Unità d'Italia in Trieste.
How would you say that? Would you write it in Italian? Or
No, I like be kind with people in English.
kind of places?
Because the translation, si gentile, be kind is strong. I think it's stronger. So I like be kind with people. The people can translate and everyone would understand it. So I will write it in English. Everybody can translate and understand it.
Okay. Isn't that more appropriate for New York, like to have it like the billboard? And
Yes, but it's, if you ask me a place that I love, yeah. If you ask me a place that would be very stronger as a message, will probably be yes in New York in Times Square.
okay.
Even if Times Square is full of people, like, it's good just to have a look, taking some pictures, and then go back. But yeah,
I believe that it'll come when you're kind to yourself, because it is the most hardest thing to do, to be kind to yourself and not be too harsh. You understand how it translates to the other person. So you're making a conscious effort to be kind to others when you learn to be kind to yourself. It's
Yeah.
just something I believe it just plays us automatically.
I agree. I agree with you.
Well, we're at the end. So
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. It was fun.
Absolutely. It was fun. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
It was really nice. Absolutely fun having you in here. How do you say that in grazie?
Prego. Grazie. Grazie a te. We have to look at the camera.